Okay. She's amazing.
I miss my second screen.
That's almost watching her from
You
afar.
use a second
Oh,
screen?
yeah.
I don't.
Oh my goodness, I use it so much.
I can't live without two.
It's
I
such a
know.
crutch.
I need, that's my next business investment.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It's very helpful. It's game changer. Do we have everybody? No.
Wolfgang.
Oh, Wolfgang, you want me to say she's not?
Oh, good, okay, thanks for letting me know.
That's your family dinner.
I always forget. I'm like,
I may
I don't know
have
if people
missed
see,
it.
see everybody.
Dinner.
I clearly like overlooked the follow-up.
Oh, no, she just sent it to me real quick.
Oh, okay, good, good, good. Well, good.
We will call our meeting to order at 6:35 PM. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We're gonna do roll call.
All right, Jessica,
Present.
Ernest,
Present.
Jeanette,
Present.
Mary,
Here.
Wolfgang has let us know that they will not be here. Catherine,
Yep.
Suzanne,
Here.
Andy,
Here.
and Lindell.
All right, now we recite our mission statement. Act as a strong advocate to justice and equal opportunity by providing citywide leadership and guidance in the area of civil rights. For members of the public participating virtually, if you experience technical difficulties, you may call 434-970-3115. Again, that's 434-970-3115, and a staff member will assist you. The commission welcomes comments and questions and commits to listening carefully and thoughtfully to what is presented. A maximum of 16 public comment time slots are allowed per meeting. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. The commission requests that members of the public refrain from engaging in personal attacks against commissioners and staff members, and asks that comments and questions focus on matters related to human rights within the city. Do we have any public comment?
Currently no attendees in the Zoom.
Okay. So we'll move on to approving our minutes from 8:17.
Any discussion on those?
Oh.
Anybody have any corrections or anything like that?
They were impressive, given the amount that happened during that meeting.
Yeah, it was
Jenny.
really helpful to those of us who
Yes.
couldn't be here. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
great.
So good. That was a big meeting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was.
Okay, shall I go ahead and do roll call vote? All right, Jessica
Abstain.
and Ernest,
Yes.
Jeanette,
Yes.
Mary,
Abstain.
Wolfgang is not present, Catherine,
Abstain?
Suzanne,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
and Linda.
Yes.
There we go.
And now we have chair updates, and the one update that I have is that I've decided with Todd that for the team norms, they really weren't team norms, they were more like expectations of like the meeting, and so I didn't feel like we needed to put that in a resolution and have public, we would just have on our name tags if that was fine with everyone. Okay, and I'll pass it over to Lindell.
So I want to preface this with the fact that I have enjoyed working with every single one of you very, very much. This has been an incredible experience for me. But not too long ago, I was having a conversation with a member of the community, and it became clear to me that if I were to step down, then there could be more representation from the community, and so I'm choosing to do that. So, but it's been great. Thank you.
We will miss you.
Yeah, today's my
Thank
last
you,
meeting,
Linda.
by the way.
Oh, wow.
We appreciate you. Thank you
Yeah,
for
thank
your
you.
service.
Thank you.
I'm gonna miss you.
I'm going to miss you too.
Oh, we appreciate all that you've done, and thank you. That it's just such allyship that you, even the reason why you're stepping down is your allyship, so thank you for that.
And you can always be an attendee.
I could,
Welcome
I
your
absolutely
input.
can. And I can actually, like, do volunteer work, can't I?
You can?
Okay, good. You can assign me to anything. Okay.
I'll hold you to that.
I know you will. Did you have a question?
Can I have a question? So I appreciate in terms of giving space for
Mhm.
others. I am also, I was actually thinking about this earlier today, so I'm the last person who came on, and I am wondering, as we think of, I don't know what other applications look like, or if there are other applications, and if not, what we might need to be thinking about in doing in terms of, maybe there's somebody who already is ready to come on in your place, but I just want to be, I am mindful that I come on as a white, straight woman the last time, and I want to be mindful if you are not going to be here, how we ensure more diversity potentially, or think about other voices at the table. So, and I'm looking at you, but I'm really looking at Todd in terms of what that looks like, and are there things that we need to be doing or thinking about to ensure, I know there are other commissions as well that need people, but particularly as we think about this commission and what it looks like, if there are things we can or should be doing to really help think through that piece.
So I actually
Oh,
want to
or
respond,
Jessica.
and Todd can also add up. But we've had several changes actually to our ordinance about this specifically. So yes, we have thought about this. And I just want to share a personal story. Like, I'm here because Lindell has like recommended me to be here. And just sharing that to say, like, I would have never known about this had I not, like, I think a lot of people are here because of word of mouth, or they've been really interested in it. And so that tends to be how people have come on. So if you know someone in the community that would be of interest, I think I know for me, when Lindell asked me, I was like, oh, like, Lindell asked me. And so I think I wasn't as afraid to be a part of it because she was here and she was able to, guide me along. But I think that's, like, at least how I've known, we've asked people to be a part of this that we've known, like, personally in the community. But Todd, if I'm missing anything.
No, I think that's a good way to put it. I'll turn this just in case it needs to be. And I think part of it is, if you do kind of move in a sort of recruitment mode and you're thinking about people, or you encounter people you think would be great, and you want to do something as noble as what Lindell is doing, and offer your spot to somebody, as a potential applicant. Again, council makes those appointments, we don't get to, so it's a little bit of a, it's a chance that they may not. But what I think the important thing to do is kind of to watch the appointment schedule, because what we would maybe not want to do is like leave a big long hole. And we can talk about that, but it's on the boards and commissions page on the website. But yeah, it's good to think about. I think I'm going to channel my boss Ashley a little bit to say that there is also power in being an ally, and sometimes when voices of privilege can sometimes get into rooms that others can't, and so using that power is also valuable. I think of that in terms of my own role. Like, I was pretty hesitant to take on the directorship, and
Yes, you
Ashley nudged me in that direction, said, you know what, use what you have to make a difference.
Yeah.
So,
I appreciate that.
food for thought.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Your updates?
Is it my turn?
Yep.
I feel a little scattered today. We've done a lot today. We did a big presentation today for the IRC about our services, they were a great crew. 43 of their staff came. So, in a similar vein, I just want to acknowledge Victoria, because I think she sent you all
She
an
did.
email.
Ed.
What's the
won't-
last day?
Yeah.
So my last day will be October 13th. We have a little bit of time. I wanted to just give you guys the most advanced notice, and this will be my last Human Rights Commission meeting. So I'm glad everyone's here today.
Aw.
Thank you for all you've
Yes.
done.
Yes, thank you,
Awesome.
Molly.
It's been really a pleasure to work with all of you. I can say more afterwards also. I don't mean to like hog the meeting with all my life, but it's been really a pleasure to work with all of you and learn so much about what kind of advocacy a board can do, even when it's composed of volunteers, such highly like dedicated and committed volunteers. It's been truly a pleasure. So thank you for that. I'm
We're
gonna
going
go
to
off
miss
mic.
Victoria.
Yes.
She's done a ton to pull outreach kind of back up into the present for us, because it was, for a while there, I was like, I can't do any outreach right now, and so it's been a really, thank you so much for all that work. It's really, really appreciated, and I'm super excited because she's laid a great foundation to pass on to somebody who takes the role next, and so you've just made that transition really, really easy and for the office, and so I'm really grateful, so thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Mhm.
I also want to acknowledge, thank you for being at the festival. Oh, of course. It was really great to see, to know that you're at places like this and that you facilitated that. It's really fantastic. Everywhere. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would say that like that in the last month or so has been, that's when all the festivals and things happen. So she's been in like 3 places at once, which is kind of working crazy hours. So yeah, hats off to you for that effort, because that's how people learn about us. Absolutely. I also sent in an email, a potential request, and I'm gonna give an addendum to that request. Victoria, another effort that she's been engaged in is working with our ADA coordinator, Paul Rudisell. I don't know, was anybody on the commission back in 2019 when we talked about the ADA transition plan? You were, yes. Do you remember talking about that? And I actually dug up those old recommendations and pasted them in the email. But in any case, it's happening. They're revising the ADA transition plan. They've hired a consultant. They've gone and looked at every sidewalk and marked every bad spot on the sidewalk, and they're doing all this really cool stuff. What's that?
That's a lot of
Oh, it was funny. He put up a map on the screen, and it was just like the outline of Charlottesville, and like one of those like circles with a line through it on every spot, and it was like the whole city was just circles with lines. It was crazy. We have a lot of work to do, but anyway, it's exciting that it's going to happen. They did a bit of a town hall last night. Were we here last night? Time is bleeding together.
It was last night.
Last night, got some good feedback, but they're just getting into the process, really. And the platform of our work sessions might be a really valuable one for the ADA committee to use, because we have Remy here, we have the broadcasting and the hybrid participation. So my request would be, can we reserve either December 7th or the January 4th, assuming we're gonna do something, I think we would be around then, to do let them use the work session for another town hall for the ADA transition plan. Would you guys be open to that? Because I think we're a good platform for them to get, and it fits well with our mission anyway. Thank you for that. I'll
So like
communicate
instead of our
that.
work session, they would be here?
It would be, we would have the work session. I mean, I think we could
but
host
like
it,
They,
but
okay.
they would kind of be the focus of what we do. And maybe, Remy, we may have to talk a little bit about format for that, but if you're good with supporting that, I think that would be a really big win for them to get more public attention to what they're trying to do. So, yes.
Yeah, is this part of the, I just saw a position listed today for the ADA coordinator.
Yeah, I
Is
saw that
part of
too.
this?
A position listed for ADA.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, just posted. I saw that too.
Okay, I don't know. That's surprising. Maybe it's I'm hoping it's an assistant, because we really like Paul. But good to know.
It sounded like a new position.
Maybe it's a new.
That's the way I read it.
Maybe it's an assistant position or something.
Yeah, it's coordinator to like facilitate things happening, which is why when you said that. it sounded-
Potentially. That's really inspiring, because it's been nice to have an ADA coordinator one, but I'm sure you could use some help, so. Wonderful. Thank you for that. Another scheduling question for you. December 21st is the regular meeting in December. How are folks feeling about that proximity to holidays and things? Are we intending to hold that meeting? I only ask just because I want to make sure that we're planning ahead with public notice and stuff like that.
Sorry, if we should host the 21st.
21st is would be your
All right.
regular meeting date of December. Do you want to keep that? Or too many folks going to be traveling to do anything?
Can we switch to another day, or is the option only to cancel?
That would be pretty tough, I think, to
Okay.
switch to another
Oh.
day. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I was like, can we have it virtual?
Don't you wish?
But no, we still have virtual days we can use, right?
We might have to look back. Maybe
Okay.
we may still have the virtual
I mean,
option.
not saying that's what we could do, but I'm saying if we could switch it to a different day, but it was virtual,
Yeah.
that might be more appeasing to people.
You could potentially if folks were, say, traveling, like out of town, that is an allowable reason to participate virtually. So,
But, yeah, can we have it on a different day?
well, if you give up the December 7th work session, to the town hall, which we were talking a little bit beforehand, Victoria and I, is it sound more like the ADA folks would prefer the January work session?
So, I'm trying to think of like the shortest way. I will just go through this answer with the information that I have.
Yes.
The city is working with a consultant,
Mm-hmm,
who is the person who will be facilitating the meeting.
mm-hmm.
He is not available on the December date.
He's not now, okay.
No.
So-
Or he's not asterisk. I'm not sure where that stayed, but as of yesterday, his comment was he probably would not be available.
Okay,
I don't know if that would change as things shore up or anything. I haven't seen that in writing. But he also said a January date might mean that they have more data points to share
okay.
on, because right now they've done the sidewalk analysis and they're working on, maybe they're working on, they'll start facilities, they'll start facilities in October.
Ah,
And that should be done by just like accessibility of public facilities. And then I think they'll be starting programs and services, including the website, in December. So I
Okay.
think his thought is if it could be done in January, he would be able to share more about how the city fared for facilities accessibility.
let's do this then. It sounds like maybe December isn't ideal anyway, so why don't I push strongly for them to consider the January 4th work session? And we'll use December 7th as a replacement, time for the regular meeting? Okay. I'll just advertise it differently when I post notice.
And we will cancel the 21st?
And I can cancel the 21st.
Does that work with everyone?
So we'll do December 2nd.
The 7th, I believe, is the first Thursday, yeah. Thanks. Just wanted to get that logistic thing kind of ironed out now. And then another date thing. Sorry, there are lots of dates happening. And I guess keep in mind that on the 7th, that's when we would be doing nominations for officers for the January meeting for elections. Can you believe that's happening again? The other date thing I was thinking about too was your legislative recommendations. We're gonna talk about that tonight, assuming, what's that? Oh, bless you. Very kind. If we approve those tonight, we get that submitted probably tomorrow. Jessica, are you considering doing public comment at council on the 2nd of October, which is the next
Yes, I was planning.
council meeting?
Yeah.
Okay,
October 22nd?
October 2nd. You could also go ahead and, that might be you probably want to do it as close to after the submission.
Yeah.
That's the first council meeting that happens after the submission, so. That's all I got. Thank you for that, the logistics. And and the report is in the thing, is in the usual colorful charts in the agenda packet. So if you have
Yep.
questions about that, let me know. Oh, yes.
I'm wondering, I'm going back a little bit, but my last meeting was December, right, of this year, so I don't know if that affects you or not,
Oh dear.
in your
Let's look it
decision,
up.
but when we broke up the things, didn't I take the 1 year?
Let's look that, I'm gonna look that up now.
Yeah.
Good, thank you for the remembering that.
And you can't do another year? No.
Sorry, my computer disconnected from the internet.
Here.
Oh, you found it. Thank you so much. So that will be,
Says you're here to 2/28/24.
you're
Yeah,
through
it's
12
February, because
February.
that's also mine.
February.
It's February this
28. 28.
2024.
But I thought I was taking a shorter,
I thought that was the shorter.
okay,
That is the shortest of the ones.
but you're staying longer,
No, I'm also off.
okay.
So a lot of people will be
Finishing in February,
transitioning off.
yeah.
1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
We should really do some outreach.
We really should.
With
Yeah.
Susan, Andy, well, Lindell won't be there. So this will change, 'cause-
Yep.
and then
Right.
Jeanette.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, mine's 1 year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we restaggered the terms. I was just making sure, like, is that the updated terms? But it is the updated terms from when we had that whole kind of discussion about it, so. It'll be fine, yeah, but good thinking. And recall that all terms will now end at the end of February on some year, because that was how they staggered it, to match. And the idea was to match that with council's appointment date
Mhm.
and then get that person into our annual meeting in March. So many things to like
I think
coordinate.
Oh.
Three
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. Good question. Thanks, Jeanette. I don't have anything else, Jessica, so, yeah.
Any other questions? Yes, stop recording, or think about if you wanna continue.
Mhm.
All right, so we're going to go over the legislative recommendation letter that has been drafted, and going through the Martha rules of order for this.
Mhm.
It's our first official time doing this way. So this proposal has been presented over a week ago to everyone, and this is now an opportunity if anyone wants to ask any clarifying questions.
Sorry, I had one, but I'm trying to find somebody else.
Yes?
I had a broader question in terms of, we haven't had a meeting since that meeting, is that right? So we haven't, like, we are not going through, this is just a clarification for me, we're not going through and prioritizing these pieces, we are essentially taking what we heard and presenting that, right? And, which is fine with me, I just wanted to, is that how we've previously done it in the past?
No. Not how we previously have done it in the past, but Todd, Ernest, and I did meet and was trying to, we ended up grouping these by like themes of everyone that
Yep.
said, and we've pulled out the top concerns from each of these three different parts.
I think this is distilled from
Yes.
Yeah.
the
Yep,
full
okay.
list.
Great,
Does that answer your question?
yes.
Yeah, okay, I think I'm okay. I had a concern about like some language, but I actually reread it and I think I feel good about it.
So there's no friendly amendments. And then we go over speakers in favor of the proposal present their views. Does anyone want to present their views?
I did have one question, actually, I'm sorry.
I knew it. I knew you
I'm
were.
sorry.
I knew you was gonna do it.
I was quibbling about the provision to prohibit mid-lease increases, because although it is not explicitly prohibited by the Virginia Residential Landlord Tenant Act, it is clearly prohibited by contract law. So there is a defense to that, but I think the language is absolutely fine and it should be explicitly there. But the language that says like allow tenants to do these things, do we want to be explicit that we're asking for an amendment to a law versus just saying allow, right? So allow tenants to raise safe and unsanitary, like it would be amend the Virginia Residential Landlord Tenant Act to allow them, right? Because I don't know that city council is all going to know what just allowing people to do something means. I'm sorry, and I know I wasn't here, I wasn't involved earlier in crafting it, so if people feel like this is fine, I'll live with it. But I think that the more clear and explicit we can be with city council, folks there may not, most people don't know anything about the Virginia Residential Landlord Tenant Act, right? Like unless you work at legal aid or you're a landlord lawyer. So I guess that would be my only suggestion. It's really not a substantive change, it's just to make that like a tiny bit more explicit about what we're asking them to amend.
How would you word it?
Look, for example, this says, allow tenants to raise, say, unsafe or unsanitary conditions as an affirmative defense to non-payment of rent. I would just add, amend the Virginia Residential Landlord Tenant Act to allow, right? So that, because that's what we're asking, right? That's what Emily Dreyfus from LAJC said, like, it's an amendment to that law. I don't, like, as I said, like, I don't feel terribly strongly if people object to it, but I think it would be more clear for city council.
About what the action actually is.
Yeah, right, it's not to like, introduce a whole new statute. It's really just to amend a statute that exists with this provision.
That's why it's helpful to have a law. We did spend a actually significant amount of our time talking about that, like doing what we need to reference as far as law.
Yeah,
And
and
there
I-
weren't a lot that we could reference, so.
Well, I
yes,
just want to
you're-
say, like, I'm a late arrival, so if people feel very strongly it should remain
I
this way,
think
like,
it's-
I live with it, but I think it would be more clear for particularly for the city councilors who aren't lawyers and, you know,
This is why your expertise
Simplify
matters.
for me.
So just,
So, I like it, if it's gonna make a difference.
yeah, I mean, it's really not substantive, it's just a little more information for them. I mean, I think the list is really excellent. I'm really happy to read it and to read the minutes of last meeting that I had to miss. So I appreciate everybody's very hard work on this.
I just want to note that we've been back to number 1 of the Martha Rules of Order, to add in, a change.
Here,
Didn't we just go back to here?
you did a friendly amendment.
Oh, we did a friendly amendment.
Yep.
Okay, we're number 2. So we'll do a friendly amendment for 1C to say amend the Virginia Residential Landlord and Tenant Act to allow what's stated in C. All right, do we have any speakers in favor of the proposal that wants to present their views?
So is that stating that, say I would be in favor of Mary presenting her view?
No, just in general, the whole proposal.
Oh.
Yes.
I would like to say that
It's,
I appreciate all the hard work that went into it, and I think it's excellent. And I do appreciate that precise addition there.
anything else? Is there anyone that wants to speak in opposition to the proposal that has been presented? So there is really no general discussion, then we just have to vote?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
that's where it is, because you have, the kind of straw poll vote has kind of already happened, because nobody's voted in opposition, so let's just do the roll call vote?
Yep.
All right. We're getting good at this.
We are. It's awkward, but we're figuring this out.
That's how I like it, awkward. Oops.
Oh, so
Russian-
your options to vote are in favor of the proposal, can live with the proposal, or opposed to the proposal.
There you go.
Okay.
Is that on the bottom one too? Maybe. Or no, this is just the majority vote. Let's see. In favor. Okay, yeah, I guess it is. Hold on for a second. Okay. Yeah, let's do it that way. And if you, yeah, all right, let's just do it and see how it goes. I have to add like a, what's it called? What's the other one that we don't have on my list here? Can live with.
Yes.
I'm gonna add a C for can live with. How's that sound? Okay, so here we go. Jessica.
In favor.
Awesome. And rolling. Ernest.
In favor.
Jeanette.
I just want to clarify, are we voting for both? We're in favor of the addition that Mary has suggested and the legislative proposals?
Yes.
I am in favor of both. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for the clarifying.
Yes.
Mary.
In favor, and thanks to everyone for their hard work.
Kathy.
I think I need to abstain because I just stepped out for a page and I missed the discussion. So I'm probably in favor of it.
Okay.
I can tell you what the amendment is. It's just instead of saying allow tenants to do this, it says amend the Virginia Residential Landlord Tenant Act to allow tenants to do this.
Extra in favor.
We have a new category.
That's a new category.
Extra in favor. Let me add a code for that. Suzanne.
In favor.
Andy.
In favor.
And Lindell.
In favor.
There you go.
All right.
Unanimous. Well done.
Woo-hoo. All right, so then we'll make that change.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
sign it.
definitely make that change. And just, can I give quick kudos?
Yeah, of course.
Because I have to say that it was quite a team effort.
Yeah, yeah.
you all gave us your time to help us prioritize what you
Yeah.
wanted to put into it. Lily spent a lot of time writing it, and drafting with the first draft. Victoria did a bunch of just reaching out to delegates, and senators to see if anybody had anything to share about upcoming legislation, which they didn't, by the way, because nothing's really on the legislative table because everybody's seat's up for grabs, so there's nothing new proposed. Sally did respond, which was very helpful, and offered to collaborate and offer some advice in the future, which is great. But anyway, it was just a really nice collaborative effort, so thank you all for that.
Yes, thank you so much. It makes a difference.
Yep, absolutely.
You have an awesome team, Todd.
I know. Lucky.
Oh, it's a tribute to your leadership. Okay, well, today's meeting is quick.
Yeah, what else you got?
We got some
Really?
action
What else you got?
updates.
Yeah, what are the action updates?
Oh, action updates, if there was any other things we were working on that we wanted to provide updates on, or people were looking into that they wanted to provide updates on.
I don't have the notes with me, but at the city council meeting on Monday, CRHA presented the new development model. I don't know if anyone saw that, but it was very interesting. They had done a market analysis of their properties and the expansions that they had planned. So I'd be happy to send that around to folks afterwards. There was a lot of, it sounded very positive in terms of the future sustainability of CRHA, that the way that they're building, it will provide not only increased affordable housing units, but increased income to sustain the properties that they do. That's like my basic takeaway that I will share with you, that one piece of that.
Thanks.
That's awesome, thank you.
Oh, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Jeanette, just because I know it's kind of in your wheelhouse,
Yeah.
are they still discussing, like, food and, like, food cooperatives within their development plan? Because I know that was part of something that Cultivate was working on before.
Yes, so they have, we're expanding the Urban Agriculture Collective farm site footprint to put a farm in at Crescent Hall. So that's one thing that'll start this fall. And then they have property here on the mall, apparently, that they will be developing, that they've set aside a corner of it for a food co-op. And that's really kind of outside of the Cultivate Charlottesville's capacity. We don't do markets or, like, for sale, but we would plan to work with them to develop that. So that was pretty exciting that they're doing that, and a clinic will be there as well, and some other units.
Excellent, thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I sent an email, I'm not sure my email went through last week, to the commission before the planning commission meeting. But it's still relevant. I didn't see it when I looked, so I must have messed up the email
I haven't
address.
seen it,
But the zoning code is still up for discussion. There was a work session of planning commission, but there's still more that's gonna happen at planning commission and city council, so it's all still relevant. And CLIC has some specific asks about supporting the zoning code, but asking that city council beef it up to prevent further displacement in historically black neighborhoods, allow more density in historically exclusionary neighborhoods. This is the thing that is riling up the NIMBYs. And expanding affordability, including tax abatements for affordable units and some specifics there. So I can read forward this. NIMBYs are out in force arguing against this, using the language of our neighborhood character, et cetera, language that is directly from the middle of the last century. And so more voices would be useful. That's it.
Yes, can you please resend? I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Catherine, do you have a proposal about what would be useful from the commission?
Well, there is, in the thing I will send, there is, and this was sent out by CLIC, so it's not just Livable Seville. There's a letter that was signed onto by a coalition letter. There's the Livable Seville sort of statement, and then there's an FAQ that on the zoning code, but also on like the specific things that you can say to support it? Is that what you're looking for?
No, I was wondering if you're proposing that the commission itself takes specific action, right?
I would, well, I think it would be great if the commission itself took action to amplify Click's ask. I don't think we have to do it at this meeting, there's still a little time. But then I think as individuals, we also should.
Personally, I would love to see the commission
Yeah.
take a stand on this issue. I mean, and like, I don't think it has to be tonight, but I do think that would be really an important message to say that this is a human rights issue.
I think it really aligns with our priority for this year and the way that it's laid out, that the documents we can, if you're able to forward that to everyone and we read it, and we can prepare the parts that feel most in line with what we're doing. And then I had a question too, in addition to the recommendations by Livable Seaville, I had a conversation about, and I'm wondering if anyone knows about the special use permit that's being added to the zoning zone that would limit small food equity entrepreneurs. It would provide like an overhead where you'd have to get over this intensive special use permit process. Does anyone know about that? All right, I'll look into more research and bring that back to the table, but in speaking with one of the commissioners, that was one of the pieces that had been overlooked, that could squeeze out like a small co-op or something like that because of the high expense of having a special use permit, yeah.
So just to be specific, when you say amplify, like when we get a chance to read this, like specifically sending a letter to city council?
Yeah, I think so. A letter and a statement at city council at a meeting, I think would be great.
You know what, I'm locked out.
Jessica, do you think it would be helpful then, maybe once we receive the email from Catherine, maybe we can have a meeting to
Yeah.
talk about key points?
Yeah.
And then we can work on a draft letter for either to look at in the work session in October, which is another thing I meant to clarify. Oh, that gets us on our agenda to decide if we're gonna have a work session in October. And then maybe have it ready for the next regular meeting to vote on.
Yeah.
Would that be good?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jessica, I'd be happy to help you draft that.
Okay.
Oh.
Just because I said I would go to the housing meetings and stuff, I wanted to contribute, if that would be helpful.
So then can we use the
I'm happy to do that.
October 5th date work session? So we're agreeing to the October 5th date work session? To then do that? Jeanette and Catherine?
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
at 6:30, right?
Yes.
I don't have the work sessions on my calendar.
No worries. Any other things to report? Yes.
Is this an appropriate place to just raise a question, or should I do that later in the meeting?
Sure.
Okay. I was at the Sabroso Festival, and like, we talked about the fact that how great it is, the Human Rights Commission's out there, and it's so much work, and it's so great that you're out there. I'm wondering if the Human Rights Commission has in its budget to buy a tent that says Human Rights Commission on it, or City of Charlottesville. And the reason I say that is because you were under the Civilian Review Board police tent, and I just felt a little, I was actually with a student who was, she told me she was horrified, like she saw me make a beeline for this police tent, and she was like, what is Catherine doing? This doesn't seem like Catherine. And then, of course, it was lovely and wonderful, and she totally understood. But I just wonder if just as sort of a, I don't know, if other people feel the same way.
Either the commission or the office.
Or the office, or, yeah.
So we have, we have a couple of things. We have 2 pop-up tents. We have an
Uh-huh.
orange one and a black one, that don't have any
Yeah.
logos or anything on it. And then we have a big like stand-up banner that says Office of Human Rights. And I guess we do also have like a grommeted thing that we could potentially hang from the
Yeah.
tent above us, in addition to our tablecloth that hangs over the front. So we could use those things that we already have, and I guess we could also, I don't know, I haven't seen what the PCOB has in terms of a tent, so.
There, the tent says
Tent itself?
PCOB, like it says police,
Oh, wow.
like it's in huge letters
Oh,
at the
okay.
top, and it was the most visible thing about.
So maybe we
about
should
the
get our,
setup.
I don't wonder if you, I guess, maybe order a tent that way, or have, maybe you could have it printed on a
Custom
tent that you have already.
See those
something like
Or
that.
even just not be under that tent, but banner, hang a banner, yeah.
Yeah, if you have a banner, just hanging it.
Okay. Good to know.
Yes, Linda?
So increase our
At Cedar Point,
presence.
you have to admit that it was clearly
Oh,
Human
that's
Rights
great,
Commission,
yeah.
so there was a table, it was right next to the police, but it was,
City stuff.
yeah, city stuff, but it was separate, and it was clearly, so, yeah. But it's a great point.
Yeah, just make ourselves more visible. is what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
separate.
and separate
Less
from the
police.
police.
Got it, thank you.
Any other actions or reports? So we've already confirmed the next work session will be October 5th, and I don't think there's any new business. We will ask again if there's any public comment.
No attendees have their hands raised in the Zoom.
Okay, are there any commissioner updates?
I have an update. Also on Monday at the city council meeting, Cultivate Charlottesville presented on their food equity initiative report to council. We have a partnership with council, specifically about the Power to Grow campaign, which is an effort to bring an urban garden and urban farm site to Booker T. Washington Park. The history of the park, I don't know if you all are familiar, but Booker T. Washington Park was once the blacks-only park. It was also a city dump before that. Prior to that, it was a plantation. Prior to that, it was Monacan land. So just the deep, rich history, and we did a really robust community engagement process, getting feedback from the community. We got some amazing and beautiful stories about how powerful so many in the Black Charlottesville community feel about Booker T. Washington Park. So if anyone's interested to learn more about that, we can share that information with you. There was no vote, it was just kind of like our report, but there was a lot of strong support for it.
Yes, please share.
I did sign something that came
You
the
signed
other
the
day.
petition?
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a petition
I
out
saw
there,
your name
yes.
too. Okay.
Any other commissioner updates? Please, no one else drop off. So next steps are for, just the edit to the letter to city council, with the changes that we discussed, and have to sign it, and then sending that to city council, and then, speaking to them during public comment on October 2nd. And that was all the action items. All right, so we will adjourn at 7:18 PM.